Who do you trust? Politicians, we vote for them, so we must trust them. Banks, we hand them our cash, so we must trust them. And then there's the media. Hey, would I lie to you?
David McCarthy joins us this morning with the findings of the annual Edelman Trust Barometer, which reveals who we trust and why. Good morning, David.
Good morning.
Who do you ask?
We ask people who are university educated, and we ask people in the top 25% of income in Australia and in 19 other countries around the world who they trust and why they trust them.
So influential and intelligent people.
Yes, I mean, everyone is intelligent, but they are influential, and that's why we talk to this particular group.
These are the people that keep abreast of the goings-on. They read the newspapers,
Yep.
they watch the news reports.
We specifically asked people who said they spent a lot of time looking at policy and looking at media and understanding what was going on in each country.
All right, now you did the survey back in November-ish last year. What has it revealed? Who are the people that we trust?
Well, it has some very interesting findings, and we basically trust business less than we trust government. Government is about more than 5 out of 10 people trust government.
Wow.
And just over 4 out of 10 people trust business, and that's quite a change from what we were expecting or what we would have seen a year ago.
Right, so obviously people are reacting to what's going on currently.
Yes.
You're obviously surprised that so many people trust government.
Yes, we were surprised that the gap between government and business was so high, but it is only 5 out of 10 that trust government. There's still 5 out of 10 that say we actually trust neither business nor government, and that's an interesting finding as well.
Well, bearing in mind you did this in November, how different might that be now? Might it be better or might it be worse, do you think, in terms of trust for government?
We can only speculate on that.
Oh, that's the fun part.
But you'd have to say that these findings directly support what the government is doing, because they're saying we trust government to help us out of the financial crisis. Another piece of data was that 81% of people want government to get more involved in fixing the financial problems that the country is in. And that's very consistent across the rest of the world too. In Europe we're seeing similar sorts of numbers. The US is slightly lower, but here we have the highest number of people anywhere in the world in the 20 markets that we looked at that actually want government to get more involved in fixing financial problems.
You discovered that banks, media institutions, insurance companies
Yes.
are least trusted.
Yes.
I don't know that we're surprised by that, but are you surprised by that?
You could probably, in any situation where arguably the current financial crisis has been caused by the problems in the US, and we've seen banks fall over in the US and so on, that banks and financial institutions are going to be marked down in popular opinion. Media companies, unfortunately, are always distrusted in any survey that I've seen.
Yeah.
And
Journalists rank last.
And I'm not talking about journalists, I'm talking about media organisations.
Oh, right.
It's important to make the distinction.
Who employ
thank
journalists.
You. Thank you.
Present
We're not all
accepted,
bad.
of course. But also insurance companies where traditionally people feel it's a resented payment in many cases.
Is that the case across the board internationally, or is it unique to
Yes,
us?
it is. Financial institutions have been marked down in all 20 markets. We've seen that happen.
All right. Sorry, I interrupted.
No. Interestingly, though, that there is a trust divide. In developing countries like China, Brazil, India and Indonesia, we're seeing much higher trust levels in business and government than we're seeing in more developed countries like Japan, Korea, United States, Western Europe and Australia. So there's quite an interesting divide going on between countries that have seen business really help them develop in the last 10 years and those that perhaps are a bit more cynical about corporate behaviour and excess and so on that we've seen here in Australia.
I guess if we go through the top 10, there aren't too many surprises there. At the top is ambulance officers, firefighters.
This is a different poll, though. This is the Reader's Digest poll, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the most trusted professions.
That's right.
So this is ambulance officers, firefighters, pilots, nurses, pharmacists, doctors, veterinarians, farmers and armed forces. I mean, there are no surprises there, surely.
Well, so I'm not familiar with the Reader's Digest survey, although it's an interesting survey. That doesn't surprise me. We were looking more at trust in business and trust in government, but those sorts of things would lend themselves to a general analysis of trust, which says those people who do not have a vested interest, those people who put something back in are generally trusted. They are credible, they're people we welcome into our homes, we welcome them into conversations. So that doesn't surprise me at all.
I know it is a separate poll, but it's interesting because number 39 of the top 40, number 39, just behind car salesmen. It's politicians. No one trusts them, but we trust the government.
Well, government in total. This survey looked at government in general, not just politicians, but the bureaucracy and the many thousands of people who work in government are trusted to come up with... They're there in the good times, they're there in the bad times.
Yeah.
And particularly in bad times, we look to them in Australia, which has more of a European flavour to its society than, say, the US, which traditionally trusts business much more than government to solve its problems.
OK, so bearing in mind the government is very trusted in the country,
yes.
You would think they would be more than happy with this poll of yours.
Yes, I would think so. We have yet to hear from the government. We've only just launched this piece of research, but this does actually give a lot of credibility to government intervention, and we're seeing that happen all over the world.
Yeah.
But the real challenge is for business. What can business do about it? Because they're definitely dropping. We've seen a 74% drop in business trust. We asked a question, what was the difference between this time last year and today? 74% drop in trust in that
That's
period
right.
of time.
And we're seeing businesses fold all over the place.
David, it's fascinating. Thank
Good
you
to
so
talk
much
to
for your time. Really interesting.
Yeah, thank you.